Hey y'all, welcome back to my Southern Rustic Kitchen, and welcome if you are new. This week I made some easy and delicious dinner classics, so let's head on into the kitchen and let's make some delicious meals. I am starting this week out by making a very easy dinner. It is open-faced roast beef sandwiches, and I'm going to make some fries to go along with that. Now, to start this off with, I found an older recipe in a cookbook that I have from the 1930s, and it's for white sandwich bread. Now, it must have just been the day, or maybe I didn't do something right, but the bread itself did not rise as I was expecting it to, but it still turned out absolutely delicious. So we're still going to use this bread in the open-faced roast beef sandwiches, and it turned out absolutely delicious. Starting out, I'm going to be making the fries first. Now all I've got here is I've got a sheet pan lined with some parchment paper and my potatoes. So I just cut the potatoes into wedges, and then we're just going to add some olive oil, but you can use whatever kind of oil you have on hand, some salt, pepper, and some ranch seasoning. You can use whatever kind of seasoning you have on hand or that your family prefers or likes. And then you're just going to lay these flat on the cookie sheet. You're going to bake them at 425 degrees for about 20 minutes. You're going to take them out, flip them over, and bake them for another 15 to 20 minutes. In the meantime, we're going to work on the open-faced sandwiches. Now I'm just going to be doing this the easy way. I've got 2 packets of brown gravy that I'm going to be using, and I'm going to make it according to the back of the package. I'm just going to add the water into my saucepan, add the brown gravy powder in there, whisk it up, turn the heat on to about medium-low, and then I'm going to cook that until the gravy is thickened. Once it's thickened, I'm going to add in some deli roast beef that I've just got chopped up, and I'm going to stir that together and turn the heat down to low and let that simmer for about 5 minutes, and then this is pretty much good to go. Alright, I took the fries out of the oven, and they are nice and golden brown. They smell absolutely delicious. So let's go ahead and make our plate. Alright guys, here is my plate. I just put a few slices of that bread down on the plate, topped it with that roast beef and gravy mixture, and had some fries on the side, and this was so good. It's a super easy and filling meal that your family will love. For dessert this week, I'm making creme brulee. Now, this recipe comes from a 1950s cookbook that I have. This is a very easy creme brulee recipe. It's, like I said, it's from the 50s, but it's so easy. If I can find this recipe online, I will leave it linked for you guys, or I will find something that's a little bit similar to it and leave it linked in the description box for y'all. But in the meantime, I'm just going to play around with this recipe and see if I can make more flavors with it, because it's so easy and it's absolutely delicious. So I'm just going to let you guys enjoy this music and watch me make some creme brulee.
blowing things up, my heart is beating. Oh, so I say here we go. You do that something to me, you do that something to my heart. I give up, you won't stop, I'm like a spinning top. You do that something to me, you do that something to my heart. I give up, you won't stop, and I keep spinning. You see right through me, do that to me. So let's do this, baby. You do that something to me, you do that something to my heart. I give up, you won't stop, I'm like a spinning top. Giving it up, giving it up, giving it up, giving it up.
Moving on to dinner, I'm going to be making some hamburger helper. Now, I've made this a few times on the channel before. It's super easy, and I will leave it linked in the description box below for you guys. But I'm adding a little spin to it this week. So, starting out, I'm just going to add some ground beef to a pan along with some onions and salt and pepper, and then I'm just going to cook this over medium-low heat until everything is cooked completely through and the onions are tender.
So alive, can't stop thinking about you day and night. Love it when you kiss me, love it when we touch. Every time I'm down, yeah, you make me smile. You're the solution. You are, you are, you are, you are, you are, you are, you are. You are the solution. You are the solution. You are, you are, you are, you are, you are, you are, you are.
Now that the ground beef and onions are cooked completely through, I'm going to go in and add in about 2 cloves of garlic, but you can add more or less depending on your taste. And then I'm just going to stir that around and let that cook for about 30 seconds. Once the garlic has cooked and you can smell it, it should be fragrant. I'm going to go in and add in my crushed tomatoes, but you can use ketchup if that's what you prefer. Then I'm going to add in some beef broth, some chili powder, salt, and pepper, and then I'm just going to mix that around and make sure everything is nice and combined.
You are the solution. I wanna hold your hand, you're everything that I desire. Every time we touch, we get set the world on fire, world on fire. I wanna hold your hand, you're everything that I desire, I desire. Oh, every time we touch, we get set the world on fire, world on fire.
Once the mixture is nice and combined, if you want to make the hamburger helper with the pasta, you can go ahead and add in the pasta now. But I'm switching it up and I'm going to be using gnocchi. So I'm going to just break up the gnocchi and add it into the sauce mixture here, and I'm going to cook it the exact same way as the recipe states. Now that the mixture has cooked for about 25 to 30 minutes and it's nice and thickened up and the gnocchi is cooked completely through, I'm going to go ahead and add on some cheese. Now, I like to use cheddar cheese. Sometimes I use the orange cheddar cheese. I have the white cheddar cheese this week, so that's what I'm going to be using, but you can top this with mozzarella if that's what you have on hand. And then I'm just going to cover this with a lid and let this sit for about 10 minutes just so that cheese melts. You can also put this in the oven for about 5 to 10 minutes or so just to melt that cheese on top. And I also made some cream corn to go along with this. Alright, here is my plate. I just have the hamburger helper here, along with some of that cream corn, and that bread did not go to waste. It was still absolutely delicious. I just added a couple of pieces that to my plate, and it was so good dipped in that sauce of the hamburger helper. For dinner tonight, I'm going to be making tomato soup. Now, I know my pot looks dirty, but it's not. I promise. I have no idea what the situation is here with this pot, but I've got some non-toxic stainless steel cleaner that I'm going to scrub this pot with. So hopefully it will get that brown stain off of the pot so it looks nice and pretty once again. Now, tomato soup is another recipe that I have made on this channel quite a few times before, so like all of the other recipes, I will leave it linked in the description box below. So to my pot here, I just added some butter. I'm going to add in a chopped onion and some salt and pepper, and then I'm just going to cook this down for about 5 to 8 minutes, just until those onions are nice and tender. Now, when those onions are nice and tender, you're going to go in and you're going to add in your garlic. I forgot to hit record, but I went in and added 2 cloves of garlic. Add as much or as little as you like, and then just let that cook for about 30 seconds until you can smell that wonderful garlic smell. And then you're going to go in and add in your diced tomatoes, chicken broth, basil, oregano, salt, and pepper. You're going to give that a stir, and you're going to let that simmer on about medium-low to low heat for about 15 to 20 minutes. Now that the soup has cooked for about 15 to 20 minutes, you can cook this for 30 minutes if you have the time to do that, but to me 15 to 20 minutes is just fine. You're going to go in and you're going to puree this until it's completely smooth. I like to use a stick blender, but if you don't have one, you can certainly do this in a regular blender. Just be very, very careful. Never fill the blender more than halfway full. Always take the center piece out of your blender and put a cloth or rag on the top and start out on the lowest, slowest setting that you have on your blender. If you turn this puppy all the way up to high, it is not going to be a good thing. I've been there, I've done that, and it's not fun. So please be careful when you use a blender with hot liquids. Now that the soup is nice and smooth, you're going to go in and add in your cream. If you don't have cream, you can get by with milk or half and half. It will work just fine. So go ahead and add that in there. Once you get that all nice and combined, you can go in and add your sugar. You can leave this out if you don't want a sweet tomato soup, or you can add less than what I'm adding. I'm adding in 1/4 cup, or you can add more if you want a more sweeter tomato soup. Just depends on you. Give that a stir, and then this is going to set on low until we are ready to eat. Moving on to the grilled cheese. Now, if you're anything like me, you can't have tomato soup unless you have grilled cheese. It's just a nostalgic thing, and it just goes together so well. So to my pan here, I'm going to add 2 pieces of buttered bread. I'm going to add it butter side down. Now, you can add whatever kind of cheese that you like in your grilled cheese. I'm adding pepper jack and cheddar. So I'm going to get that on there, top it with the other buttered slices of bread with the butter side up, and then I'm just going to let these cook on about medium-low heat until they are nice and golden brown on both sides. And then I'm just going to remove them from the pan, and then we're going to make our plate. Here is my bowl of tomato soup. Now I like to add some olive oil and some sour cream to mine, but you can add some red pepper flakes or some cheddar cheese to the top of this. And I also have my grilled cheese on the side here. And this, you guys, is so good. If you like tomato soup like me, this right here just hits the spot. Wrapping up this week, I'm going to be making BLTs, and I'm going to make some sweet potato fries for me and some regular fries for my daughter. Now, I absolutely adore and love BLTs. I think I lived off of BLTs and salads when I was a teenager, but it's just something super easy that you can pull together, you know, very quickly and feed your family, and it's absolutely delicious. So we're going to start out with the sweet potato fries. I'm going to add some oil to all of the fries, and I'm going to add some cinnamon to the sweet potato fries and some onion butter seasoning to the regular fries. Toss those around. I'm going to put them in a 425-degree oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. Take them out, flip them over, put them back in for another 15 to 20 minutes. In the meantime, we're going to make some bacon for the BLTs.
Break it down like this.
So I just cooked the bacon in batches in the air fryer on the bacon setting that is on the air fryer that I have. And then I just cut up some tomatoes, prepped up some lettuce, got the mayo out, and sliced up some bread for the sandwiches. And then I took the fries out of the oven because they were done. So we're just going to go ahead and make our plate. Alright, here is my plate. I just have the sweet potato fries here and the BLT on the side here. Now, I made some homemade milk bread to go with this. I think it's the perfect sandwich bread because I don't eat a lot of store-bought bread. But anyways, this was absolutely delicious, and I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys on Tuesday. Bye, guys.